Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Asian American Center's first ever Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Over the course of this month, we've had the opportunity to share our cultures, stories, and identities in so many ways, and we're so grateful to have you here to wrap up this month with our premier celebration. While APAHM is historically celebrated in May nationwide, here at UNC, we celebrate APAHM in April, before the spring semester wraps up. Today, we're extremely excited to showcase many talents from across the Asian American community, with acts ranging from dance, to song, to spoken word. Our theme this year is legacy, and it touches upon the legacy we've been given, passed down from our families, culture, and history, as well as the legacy we will continue to create for ourselves and for future generations. This year's curated performances each have their own story from the ages that celebrates what legacy means to them. Without further ado, we hope you enjoy UNC AAC's APAHM Premiere Celebration, Stories from the Ages.
Blue Star is UNC's first traditional and modern Vietnamese dance team. Formed out of rising interest and passion for Viet dance in the community, they strive to spread appreciation and enjoyment of Vietnamese culture. Blue Star is based on the namesake lotus, which is Vietnam's national flower and a symbol of optimism for the future. Despite the harsh conditions, the lotus still grows beautifully out of muddy waters. There could not have been a better metaphor for the Blue Star's muddy waters than this past year. Although the pandemic has greatly affected the team, they have worked hard to keep the dance alive.
Sẽ trở lại thôi, héo mòn 3 thu qua, chờ hoài đâu thấy, dành trọn hết niềm tin để yêu nhưng nhận lại chỉ là tổn thương. Tóc ai đã phai màu theo gió xưa, dành trọn hết niềm tin để yêu đến cuối cùng chẳng ai ở lại, chỉ còn mình anh nơi đây. Lòng không còn thương còn nhớ nhưng chẳng thể nào ngăn trái tim lại, chưa một ai thật lòng thương ai. Dần lòng không còn thương còn nhớ cớ sao hy vọng đêm cố chấp nhạt nhòa bờ mi trong giấc mộng xinh.
dài sau ấy lưng nhỏ gập ghềnh tiếp mỹ đoạn trường tất ta tất tuổi ước phong sương ngại ngần đi cái chi chừng nợ nần đi thế gian gì em đẹp em xinh em có nước em đang tràn lon nước khi thời nước miếng còn em vẫn tròn em vẫn son đi ôi say giấc mơ say tình say người em thương say người em yêu đêm phơi non nà em vẫn son đi em đẹp em xinh
For our next act, we have Reflection on a Tang Poem, performed by Clara Yang and composed by Phil Young. Professor Clara Yang is a concert pianist that has performed in venues such as Carnegie Hall in New York, the Forbidden City Concert Hall in Beijing, and the Auditorio Nacional de Música in Madrid. She is currently an associate professor of piano at UNC and the head of keyboard studies. Reflection on a Tang Poem was written by Professor Yang's uncle, Phil Young, specifically for her to perform.
Hi, my name is Andy Garbish, and I'm a PhD student in the School of Education. During my experience here at UNC, I've been studying what it's like to be me and what it's like to be you. I've worked to develop tools, theories, lenses we can all use to better understand just who we are. But over the course of my time here, there's something that I haven't yet done. There's something that I've been meaning to do. There's something that I need to do. I never got to say thank you. So broadly, seaweed soup is a thank you. It's a thank you to the woman who brought me into this world, an acknowledgement of her existence, and a writing of her historical condition into life. It is important for me to write her into existence, because if she ceases to exist, well, then so do I. For me, she is the origin case of my invisibleness. My process of learning to become visible is done through writing her, the truly invisible, into life. I am the legacy of her sacrifice, and I take that very seriously. Thus, the words, thoughts, cultural underpinnings, and acknowledgement of sacrifice from her on behalf of me, that part is for her. The breaking containment of literary objects such as poetry from purely aesthetic to employable tools to illustrate the materiality of cultural reproduction, subjectivity, and social power dynamics, well, that is for all of us. We all need tools to understand who we are and the conditions from which we come. Lisa Lowe says, only by defamiliarizing the object and the means of apprehending that object do we make certain alternative ways of knowing, thinking, and being. I am my Oma's legacy, and my son, well, my son is mine.
In Korea, there is a tradition that after birth, the new mother will eat seaweed soup. And although it may not taste great, it carries healthful properties, so many new mothers will eat it 3 to 4 times a day for the next 2 or 3 months. So during childhood, when a child does something that disappoints or angers their mother, she may often say, "And to think, I ate seaweed soup for you?" There are 3 women in this world that I love the most. There are 3 women in this world that I want to make proudest of me. One of them raised me. One of them I married. And one of them I may never meet. We may never meet. I may never look into your eyes, and I may never be able to put your hand in mine. I may never be able to properly thank you for what you did for me. However, I am now old enough to know that you ate seaweed soup for me. I am now old enough to know that on the day you found out you were carrying me, you could not go to my father, you could not go to his mother, and you could not go to your mother. I am now old enough to know that there was no straw rope laced with chili peppers to be tied around your doorframe. There was no one to tend to your needs. There was no father-in-law to name me a name that would carry a wish for my life. Yet, I am now old enough to know that you ignored negative events and only thought good thoughts, for I am blessed far beyond what I deserve. I am now old enough to know that you looked at only beautiful things while carrying me, for I am devastatingly handsome. I am now old enough to know that you ate only unblemished foods while carrying me, because I am healthy as an ox. I am now old enough to know that you did not eat tofu, for I am a man that will never fall apart. And I am old enough to know that although you may have never carried me on your back, our hearts align and always will. And finally, I am now old enough to know that you died a social death that day, and you did so hoping and praying that it would lead to a better life for me. And it did. So Oma, I have been by your side for 10,000 years and will be by it for 10,000 more. So, when we meet again, whether it is in this life or the next, I will bring you seaweed soup, and we will sit in the stillness and eat it together. Thank you for eating seaweed soup for me.
Next, we have a poem shared by poet and Asian American Center fellow Rajiv Mohabir from our past event, Celebrate Holi with Rajiv Mohabir, where he gave readings from his book, I Even Regret Night, Holy Songs of Demerara, his translation of Lal Birahi Sharma's 1916 book of poems.
These two poems are about bringing my own kind of queer affect and experience to the celebration of Holi that attempts to not only link my present day speaking voice and poetic voice with those that have come before me, as well as to show ways in which I take Holi and make it into something of my own. This is called Holi ke din dekhi aayi re. Look, Holi has come. And it's based on a song by Lal Bihari Sharma. By Pandit Chanulal Mishra of the same name. We fling talcum bound to the Ganga Ghat, cremation ground, where even ghosts throw colors. In Opalaika, pines release yellow clouds. Cardinals shed pinions and down. The puppy blows her undercoat. Chanulal says, Sham and Radha play, only one day, Holi. But Shiva plays Holi with pyre ash every day. My heart, pitchkari of crimson dye, paints the gullies inside me in rose, hibiscus, incarnation, marigold, in bela, in jasmine.
Founded in 2011, Flying Silk is the only traditional Chinese dance troupe at UNC Chapel Hill. We are a small team that has come together with the common goal of showcasing the cultural beauty and diversity of Chinese dance. Even though our dance team is named after a flowy red silk ribbon, we have also expanded to using multicolored ribbons, bundled ribbon, and silk fans in our choreography. Throughout the year, Flying Silk performs in collaboration with other arts and cultural organizations both on campus and in the community. Every year, we create and practice a new piece, which we perform at various events and showcases. This year's piece evokes an emotional tone that tells a story of internal reflection and transformation. We present the emotions associated with internal struggle and feelings of uncertainty through powerful fan choreography. These feelings eventually fade away to a dreamlike and cheerful state portrayed by gentle and soft umbrella. Lastly, we transition into our red ribbon choreography, It begins with closed ribbons, which represent contemplation and reflection. By opening our ribbons to perform our signature loops and spins, we portray the start of a new beginning towards new change and ultimately acceptance. And finally, without further ado,
Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Kim, the director of the Asian American Center, and I'm delighted to be able to introduce our next performer to you. Kaoru Watanabe is a remarkable musician, composer, and teacher whose work fuses Japanese traditional instruments and forms with American jazz. He was the first American to be accepted into the renowned Kodo Taiko, Japanese drum troupe in Japan. And a few years ago, I was lucky enough to curate his visit to campus with Carolina Performing Arts. He performed as a duo with Hawaiian taiko artist Kenny Endo and engaged with our students. I hope we'll be able to host him again soon because his solo and collaborative work really speaks to the fluidity of culture and the importance for all of us in understanding our roots. Roots is the name of this piece, composed and performed by Kaoru on taiko and fue, Japanese flute.
For our final act, we have a cover of a popular Chinese song by Wanting Chu, 我的歌声里, You Exist in My Song, performed by Lin Chen and accompanied on guitar by Luke Johnson. Both serve on the leadership team of the AAC campaign. The original song has over 169 million views on YouTube and is about a person that Chu met suddenly, who changed her world and disappeared just as suddenly, leaving nothing but memories.
点防备，也没有一丝顾虑，你就这样出现在我的世界里，带给我惊喜，情不自已。可是你偏又这样，在我不知不觉中悄悄地消失，从我的世界里没有一旋剩下的只字回忆。你存在我深深的脑海里，我的梦里，我的心里，我的歌声里。你存在我深深的脑海里，我的梦里，我的心里，我的歌声里。还记得我们曾经肩并肩一起走过那段繁华巷口，尽管你我是陌生人，是过路人，但彼此还是感觉到了对方的一个眼神，一个心跳，一种意想不到的快乐，好像是一场梦境，命中注定。你存在我深深的脑海里，我的梦里，我的心里，我的歌声里。你存在我深深的脑海里，我的梦里，我的心里，我的歌声里。世界之大，为何我们相遇？难道是缘分？难道是天意？你存在我深深的脑海里，我的梦里，我的心里，我的歌声里。你存在我深深的脑海里，我的梦里，我的心里，我的歌声里。你存在我深深的脑海里，我的梦里，我的心里，我的歌声里。
Wow, those were some incredible acts. Thank you all for tuning in to our first APAHM premiere celebration, and a huge thank you to all the people who submitted performances. We can't express how excited we are to continue highlighting Asian American arts and performance once we are back on campus. If you'd like to stay connected with the AAC, sign up for our listserv and follow our social media accounts. All links are in the description below. And lastly, we'd like to wish a smooth and strong finish to the last part of the semester for anyone taking or teaching classes, and a very happy Asian Pacific American Heritage Month to everyone.